suddenly in the middle of the standing. And this is our lifetime in Blitz. Wow, big edge there for Levon.
I wasn't actually expecting that. Wesley is a very, very qualified Blitz player himself.
But lots of draws for Blitz. That's a bit surprising.
I'm very surprised about the statistic, actually.
Double the number of draws as decisive games, so we'll keep an eye on that. But I really think Wesley, surprisingly, has a lot to play for here. You wouldn't imagine that, you know, being at the bottom of the cross table, it would matter that much. But it's just kind of surprising. Also, a lot of the people that were doing well before, like Korobov, suddenly they're in the middle of the pack. These are the type of people that Wesley could even surpass.
I like the chair
if he
stance.
wins a few games.
See how he adjusts the chair to be on a 45-degree angle.
And here we go. The game has commenced as Wesley chooses.
Some kind of early Catalan setup with G3, avoiding the move C4. I'm wondering why he's trying to avoid this, or what his intention is. He might transpose back into Catalan with C4 at some point. Knight F3, Bishop E7, and then straight into the Catalan. Aronian has made a living defending the black side of the Catalan for the entirety of his chess career. Normally he chooses the variations with A6 and Bishop D7, and that's what he's doing right now. C5 is a new wrinkle, but Bishop D7 has been Aronian's choice for decades, literally. Bishop G5, all very well-known theory. Knight BD7, Knight C3.
Does he just want to draw Levon?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Especially not in the tournament situation he is. Suddenly he's given a ray of hope. Wesley is of improving his tournament standing. He started the day in dead last.
I said Levon. Does Levon want?
Oh yeah, Levon wants a draw with the black pieces against Wesley for sure.
Absolutely.
After losing that way against Artemiev, a draw is great. He stabilizes the ship. He makes the other players score their points to catch him. I think a draw would be great for Levon.
And he plays Anish and Fabi in the last few rounds, and I think that he'll feel good about getting a rest and then playing against them.
Right, Anish always a very dangerous opponent, and we said Fabi can win any game, but apparently he can also lose every game because the way that he's playing today leaves a lot to be desired.
Okay, so Queen D3 and now Bishop takes F3. Tell us about this exchange.
Yeah, this is a typical exchange in this kind of structure. Basically, you give up the pair of bishops, but you solidify this diagonal with the move C6.
And there it
bishop, yeah, it just feels like it's not really that active. You would love to break that open with b4, b5, but that's impossible because of the hold the black has over b4. So you have to slowly prepare e4, maybe d5, but they're very difficult to achieve. Supposed to be a very solid position with the black sides, of course. Not a lot of active prospects, but once the knight reaches d5, you try to exchange the bishops. I think Wesley will simply retreat his. And then the knight coming to b4, and there you go, the bishop does retreat to d2. And the knight coming to b4, it's supposed to be incredibly solid. You even see moves like f5 being played just to avoid e4 in certain positions.
But you're a fan of the bishops.
I am, but...
And this one, although he's very solid...
I am a fan of the bishops, but they're long-term positions.
This is one where White's going to have to milk this super slowly. And hope that c5 doesn't happen at any point, or e5, and make this very easy for black to defend.
Queen b6. Probably want to hold on to this pawn on d4 by playing e3. It's a very natural move, and there you go, e3 being played on the board. The knight will jump to e4 at some point, the bishop will go to c3, the king will go to g2, maybe h4 at some point.
By the way, that pawn wasn't really hanging. Queen d4 allowed a bishop move, winning your knight on d7. Maybe he could have been more active on that last move.
That's true. On the other hand, it's a very slow type of activity in which you're simply improving your positions slowly. There's no real threats. Knight a2, I'm a bit surprised about that. It does fight for the b4 square, but that's not going to be a battle that white wins. And I could even take on a2 and put a bishop on b4.
That was weird.
It's a little bit of a strange move. I did think the knight belonged in the center with knight e4.
That was weird. His last two moves to me have been too solid.
Yeah.
I would have played e4 and played bishop e3. But with queen b6, e4 was possible. And then play bishop e3. Why wouldn't you do that?
Oh, knight e5 by Aronian. A kind of weird move also because I thought, as you said, that e4 is going to come. And now you kind of asked for it with a tempo.
That's weird too.
Yeah.
What's happening? They're playing some chess that we don't really get.
Yeah, I don't see any tactical problems with the move e4. And again, Wesley decided not to go for it. Plays queen c2. With the knight on a2, I'm wondering if I can play the move e5, a very typical break in this kind of positions. Because the knight is so far off the game on a2.
And the knight goes back to b4.
This is like a tacit draw offer with queen b1 because the knight b4 is a very strange move. To play knight d5 and then knight b4 is weird. And Wesley's like, I'm not interested in your draw. Give me that knight.
And bishop to c3 on the next move.
Just slightly better for white because you're going to get e4 in. This is very strange to play knight d5 and then knight b4. But the position hasn't changed that much. It's still very solid for black. c5 and e5 will be breaks that he can think about eventually. He will be fighting against the bishop, so that is a permanent slight advantage for white. Just saying, I'm solid. Give me some dark squares. I'm going to hold on to my position, not do anything crazy.
And the big deal here, I will say, is the clock. Right now, it's dead even.
Dead even.
Dead even. But in a couple of moves, you're going to see a couple of minutes, you're going to see this change. You're going to see it transform. Somebody's going to have an edge on time, and that person will decide how to manage that future situation when it occurs. Because right now it's basically even, but it's impossible, or at least difficult, to trade everything off.
The longer you talk without Levon making a move, the less your statement is true.
Yeah, no, this is a fact. He's spending quite some time right in this moment, and I think the pressure is actually on Levon, not Wesley. It's on him because he just felt the sting of a loss, and he would love to just make a draw, but Wesley hasn't done anything to make it just easy to do. Like, I'll just play this move, this move, this move, and draw. G6. Now, Wesley would be smart to play a move right now. H4, but just play quickly.
The thing about G6 is that it gives white such an easy move. And he has to be permanently worried that the move G4 comes at some point, just breaking open on that king side. Don't do it right now because I don't have an advantage right there. I'm going to slowly play it. King G2 or even H2. Play Rook G1 or H1. And there you go, King G2. Prepare this G4 move. And Bishop F8.
Whoa. Now he must feel something wrong is afoot. Seeing this move land on the board, this looks weird.
Because E4 gives white everything you want. You get the pair of bishops.
This is
you
weird.
get the strong center. You get the possibility of breaking with G4. I'm even considering E5 just to kill the knight and let me play G4 coming up. I'm going to close down the center, and you better hope the move C5 works at some point. Otherwise, you have no counterplay. I'm really considering E5.
My concern would be C5. Yeah, I wouldn't want to give you the move C5 just for any kind of play. But he has played E5, as you mentioned.
Yeah, that was the move that I was thinking about because E5 kills so many of your pieces. And if you don't have the move C5 right now, you have a lot of difficulties in development. And C5 can be sidestepped with the move D5. I would have to see if the tactics work on my end.
Are you sure? Yeah, that looks weird. C5, D5, he can take on...
E5.
E5, yeah.
E5.
And I was hoping to take on E6.
But there's a queen able to swing.
B7. Remember, B7 is hanging. There will be some tactics.
Right, that changed. But that means you didn't get.
F3.
That means you didn't get what you wanted out of the center. And this is the other problem with this move E5 is the knight can get to D5. So, but the knight is a paper tiger on that square.
Slow
it's a beautiful knight on D5, but it doesn't do anything.
No. You know what? The center is shut. Oh, C5 might come. I'm thinking G4 would be well timed here, given the shut nature of the center. If you can break open with G4 and H5. Then you start touching H7 really fast. And my only worry is that C5 break, but if it's not on point, and he's played Bishop E4 instead, going...
For what?
I'm not really sure what this is. It just feels like there's a G4, H5 threat that he has to pay attention to. Now he's limited it. No more C5. I might play G4 right now.
I think I'll prepare it. I'll play Queen E2 with the idea of G4. And I think this is why he's rearranging the bishop and the queen. He wants to take on G4 with the queen, so that's even more threatening on the king side. And he has played Rook D3. He's definitely aiming towards some kind of break, but he's doing it in a very slow way. A little surprised about this move, Bishop D2.
He's so calm about it. Wesley looks like he's let his foot off the gas just a little bit.
I like the move knight b4 here for black, just to force this bishop off the board and say, look, you are going to have to be worried about this d4 pawn for the rest of the game.
But are you sure about those light squares on your side, though?
Well, because I'm okay, because I'm going to play c5 and pressure e5 as well. Queen b6, I think he wants to do something similar, but take with the queen on b4. I mean, this is the only explanation for the move queen b6 that I can find. Rook
Wesley
D1.
now plays Rook D1. Wesley has been very solid. He hasn't decided
too solid
to make any demonstrations on that king side all that time.
Rook C8, preparing the move C5.
By the way, Vichy and Artemiev have drawn, and I am peeking at Sergey's game versus Mamedov, and that looks like there's a good chance it'll be a draw as well, too, as actually very, very high chance.
Incredible how solid this has been. Guys, this feels like it's going to go down to sub 30-second land and no resolution on the chessboard. I'm surprised how slowly he has played this as Wesley, queen on b3, when g4 has been crying to be played for the longest time.
Even right now. But I mean, the queen's on a7. That's like alert, alert, alert. Time to break.
He clearly doesn't believe in this move. He clearly doesn't think that g4 had the potency, and he's just waiting it out.
It's also easy for us to just throw the pawn forward because it's not our pawn.
Yes, agreed. And now rook to d7, but this has been quite a slow play.
Should be too. It's funny that you can repeat with rook d8, but it's such a dumb move to play rook d8.
Wesley just letting the tension build, and Levon now about to go under a minute in the game with Wesley at 129. This is a big deal, given that the position has not been resolved. They're going to be in blitz mode, and whoever has more time will be smiling. And Wesley, look how calm he is, waiting for Levon to implode. 46 seconds and counting.
Why? He's taking his sweet time like this was some kind of classical game.
And now he just played quickly. Did you see that queen a6 move? That showed that he feels the nerves.
And that panicky way of hitting the
clock as well. By the way, he's a left-handed player, so he has to reach across the board to hit the clock.
Ah, so it's actually white that he prefers to be with the clock.
Yes.
That's interesting. That's like, yeah, like you double up your advantages.
And Wesley now just playing. Wesley is just playing around. Wesley has not been doing anything the last couple of moves. It is clear he's playing on the time. And now b5 on the board. First concrete demonstration of a break we've seen in forever in this game.
Yeah, we were waiting for it for minutes. And
Wesley just dropping back, ignoring and saying that doesn't change anything about the position. Your turn again. Your turn to think. Those 3 seconds that you get for the delay have passed. And now you're under 30.
He spent so much time.
20 seconds left.
He spent so much time with this couple of moves. He's down significantly in the clock.
Doesn't bishop c6?
Bishop c6 I can take on a4.
And then bishop a4? Oh, no, the rook is hanging at the end. On d3,
yeah.
You're
if you
right.
take on c6, you'll take here, I'll take here, queen takes a4, but this rook is hanging on d3 at the end.
So rook c1 played by Wesley.
Rook to c1,
no.
that allows takes on a4 with tempo. But he played knight takes.
Yeah, but this knight is completely stuck on a4. It cannot retreat because you lose c6.
And queen to a2, played quickly by Wesley.
Yeah, b3 with queen takes a5 as the idea. I'm not sure this is enough for an advantage, but he makes quick moves, makes everyone solve problems.
9 seconds now. It's critical. Look at him. Just drop back, giving the pawn on a5 away.
Yeah, he takes advantage of the fact that c4 is still available for his knight, so he definitely wants to trade the knight off or return it to d5 where it was strongly posted anyway.
And Wesley decides to take that pawn, and Wesley with 38 seconds, Levon with decisions to make, and now he's going to play most likely knight c4. He played it back to d5 actually. And now, solid position for Levon at the moment, not dropping anything. Wesley needs to find a move here to make him stop and think.
Yeah, the problem is the time situation. 8 seconds, and there
goes one. Rook b3, the threat of rook takes b5.
Rook takes b5 on cue. The passive move, but
rook b7, allowing bishop d5. He's forced to take
with the e-pawn.
And now the c-pawn is dead.
Oh, that's not what you
wanted to see. 3 seconds left.
Almost
and I just need to play b4, and it's definitely dead. He's going down.
This is definitely dead.
He is going down. That last move does not do anything.
Oh, look at that bishop being corralled on h6.
Bishop back. There goes
Thank you
one.
For the pawn. He's going to trade rooks at some point.
No, this is over, and he's just calmly moving now. He just needs to keep his nerves. It looks like the b pawn is going to drop as well. Look at that.
You trade one.
Trying to trade another pair of rooks.
Then you'll
take
be
that one.
Very happy to attack the pawns. Rook c6, threatening rook b6. He might even bring the king all the way to the d file before he does that, so that he doesn't have to face any.
Ooh, f5, so he can bring his king up.
Also good.
Nice idea.
Also good.
Looking to trade off those bishops. Looks unstoppable at the moment.
Yeah, but the rook endgame is hopeless. Even bishop takes d8 and rook d6 must be winning. Rook d6 immediately is winning.
Oh,
for certain.
Man, nasty move. Forcing advantage. You cannot take on a5.
Resigns.
And
Wesley SO.
Wesley SO, second win in a row.
We have a tournament in our hands.